Shalom, my friend. Tonight, I want to share a practice with you that happens only once a week. Not every day, not only when life becomes difficult, not only when the bills are heavy or the worry becomes too loud. Once a week, quietly, faithfully, at the edge of Shabbat. The practice takes only a few minutes. You take your wallet, you take a clean cloth. You sit down before Shabbat begins, before the week closes, before the house enters that softer, holier rhythm of rest. And you clean your wallet. That is all. You remove the old receipts. You take out what does not belong. You wipe it gently. You organize what remains. You hold it for a moment, and you say, "This week is finished. I release what must be released. I prepare my vessel for what is coming." To some people, this may sound too simple, maybe even too ordinary. But in the old Jewish way, ordinary things were never only ordinary. A table was not only wood. A candle was not only flame. Bread was not only food. A coin was not only metal. And a wallet, my friend, is not only a wallet. It is the small house of your Parnassa, the place where your provision rests when it is in your hands. And before Shabbat, when the home is being prepared, when the table is being set, when the candles are waiting, when the spirit is being called back from the noise of the week, why should the wallet remain untouched? Why should the home be cleaned, but the vessel of your provision remain full of the week's clutter? Stay with me tonight, because this is not about making money appear. This is not about superstition. This is not about pretending that a clean wallet will solve every financial problem. No, this is about something deeper. It is about ending the week with dignity. It is about clearing the weight of the days that have passed. It is about preparing your heart, your home, and your provision to receive the new week with less fear and more order. And maybe, just maybe, this coming Friday will feel different for you. Maybe you will not enter Shabbat carrying the same financial heaviness you have carried every other week. Maybe you will set something down. Maybe you will begin again. But before we enter the practice, let us speak honestly about the wallet. For many people, the wallet is not peaceful. It may look small from the outside, but inside it carries a whole story. Old receipts, cards, bills, notes, things you forgot about, things you did not want to look at. And beneath those things, there is often something heavier: worry, pressure, avoidance, shame, a quiet fear that says there is not enough. Maybe you know this feeling. Maybe you avoid opening your wallet because you do not want to feel what comes up when you look inside. Maybe you open it too often because checking gives you a small sense of control, even though it also brings anxiety. Maybe your wallet is full of old receipts because every receipt feels like proof that money left your hands again. Maybe you keep things in it that should have been thrown away weeks ago because in some strange way, your wallet has become a small mirror of the financial pressure you have been carrying. And maybe the week itself feels like this. One obligation after another, one payment after another, one responsibility after another. Money comes in, money goes out. You try, you manage, you hold things together. And by Friday, your body is still moving, but your spirit feels tired. Not only tired from work, tired from carrying, tired from thinking, tired from calculating, tired from wondering when the ease will finally come. I want you to hear this gently. You are not failing. You are not cursed. You are not someone for whom blessing has been withheld. Financial pressure is real. The burden of responsibility is real. The private exhaustion of trying to make things work week after week is real, and it deserves compassion. But there is a reason our people were given Shabbat. Shabbat is not only a day where we stop working. Shabbat is a mercy, a weekly return, a holy interruption, a reminder that we are not machines, that life is more than producing, paying, worrying, and surviving. Every 7 days, the Jewish soul is invited to stop and say, "The week has ended. I am allowed to breathe. I am allowed to receive rest. I am allowed to remember who I am beyond the pressure." But Shabbat does not simply happen to us. We prepare for it. We clean, we arrange, we set the table, we light the candles, we cover the bread, we change the atmosphere of the home. because preparation is part of the blessing. The old teachers understood this very well. Before holiness enters, we make room. Before rest enters, we clear the clutter. Before the soul can receive, the home must become ready. And this is where the wallet enters the teaching. In Jewish wisdom, Parnassa means provision, livelihood, sustenance, the flow that supports a person's life. It is not only money, it is the work that feeds your home, the strength that carries you through the week, the food on the table, the bills that get paid, the unexpected help, the opportunity that appears, the wisdom to manage what comes, the peace to not be destroyed by what has not come yet. Parnassa is sacred not because money is sacred in itself, but because life is sacred, and anything that helps sustain life must be handled with care. Your wallet is one of the physical places where this Parnassa rests. It travels with you. It opens when you buy food. It opens when you give. It opens when you pay. It opens when you are afraid. It opens when you are grateful. It carries the physical signs of your financial week. So if the home is prepared before Shabbat, then the wallet should be prepared too. If the table is cleared, why not the wallet? If the candles are placed with intention, why not the vessel of provision? If the house is made ready for peace, why should the wallet remain full of the week's residue? This is not a law I am placing on you. It is an invitation, a small practice, a weekly clearing, a way of telling your heart, this week does not get to follow me forever. I will release what needs to be released. I will prepare what needs to be prepared. I will enter the new week with a vessel that is clean, ordered, and ready. There is a beautiful Jewish idea called hachanah, preparation, but not just getting ready in a rushed way. Hachanah means preparing something for a higher purpose. When you prepare for Shabbat, you are not only cleaning the house, you are making space for holiness. You are saying, this time is different. This home is different. I am entering a sacred threshold. So when you clean your wallet before Shabbat, you are doing hachanah over your Parnassa. You are preparing the little house of your provision. You are saying, the old week is ending. The new week is coming, and I will not carry every piece of anxiety forward without looking at it, clearing it, and blessing what remains. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named David. David was in his early 50s. He had worked hard most of his life. He was not irresponsible. He was not a careless man. But somewhere along the way, his relationship with money had become tired. Not broken in a loud way, broken in a quiet way. He avoided envelopes. He kept old receipts. His wallet was thick with things he did not need. Expired cards, crumpled papers, parking slips, a receipt from a store he had not visited in months. Small reminders of decisions, expenses, worries, and weeks that had never been properly closed. His wallet was not only messy, it felt heavy. And if you looked closely, you would see that David's financial life felt the same. Heavy, unclear, avoided, accumulated. David had grown up in a Jewish home, but like many people, the weekly practices had faded from his life. He still remembered holidays. He still came to a Seder. He still lit candles here and there. But Shabbat, the weekly rhythm, the old Friday preparation, had become distant. Then one Friday afternoon, his sister invited him for Shabbat dinner. He arrived early. The house was alive with preparation. The table was being set. The candles were ready. Children were changing clothes. There was the smell of food in the kitchen, and something in the air felt different from an ordinary evening. Not fancy, not perfect, just prepared. David stood there watching, and something in him remembered childhood. Then he walked into the kitchen and saw his brother-in-law, Yonatan, sitting at the table. But Yonatan was not cooking. He was not reading. He was cleaning his wallet, slowly, carefully. He had taken everything out and laid it on the table. He sorted the receipts. He removed what did not belong. He wiped the wallet with a small cloth. He placed the cards back neatly. Then he held the wallet for a moment, closed his eyes, and whispered something David could not fully hear. David watched him and finally asked, "What are you doing?" Yonatan looked up and smiled. "Preparing for Shabbat." David laughed softly. "Your wallet?" Yonatan nodded. "Yes, my wallet too." David waited. Yonatan said, My grandfather did this every Friday. He used to say, if the house is prepared for Shabbat, the home of your Parnassa should be prepared as well. David looked at the wallet on the table. Jonathan continued, the week leaves things inside us, and sometimes it leaves things inside the wallet too. Receipts, worries, reminders, little pieces of the week that do not need to be carried into Shabbat. He picked up one old receipt and placed it aside. Before Shabbat, I clear it. I release what belongs to the week that is ending. I prepare the vessel for what the new week will bring. Then Jonathan held the clean wallet in his hands and said, quietly, this week is finished. I release what I do not need to carry. I prepare this vessel for blessing, responsibility, and peace. David said nothing, but something inside him listened. That evening, after the candles were lit, after the wine, after the bread, after the singing, after the meal, David felt a kind of quiet he had not felt in a long time. Not because his problems had disappeared, but because the week had been given a place to end. That night, when he went home, he took his own wallet out of his jacket pocket. It felt thick in his hand. He sat at his kitchen table, and for the first time in a long time, he emptied it completely. Everything came out. Receipts, cards, old papers, things he did not remember putting there. He looked at the pile and realized that he had not been carrying a wallet. He had been carrying unfinished weeks. He sorted slowly. He threw away what needed to go. He kept what mattered. He wiped the inside and outside with a clean cloth. And when it was done, he held it in both hands. The wallet felt lighter. But more than that, he felt lighter. He said, awkwardly at first, this week is finished. What does not serve me, I release. What is coming, I prepare for. No thunder, no miracle, no sudden answer. Just a quiet man at a table, with a clean wallet and a heart that had found a small way to begin again. The next Friday, he did it again. Then the next. And slowly, the practice began to spread. He started opening the envelopes he had avoided. He began looking at his accounts more honestly. He started giving a small amount for Tzedakah each week, even if it was very small. He began to notice patterns, where money was leaking, where fear was speaking, where clutter had become a way of not looking. The cleaning of the wallet did not solve everything, but it made him present. And presence, my friend, is where healing begins. Months later, David told Jonathan, I think that little Friday wallet practice changed something in me. Jonathan smiled and said, it did not change your money first. It changed how you met your money. That is the teaching. Sometimes the outer life begins to change only after the inner posture has softened enough to see clearly. Now, let us open the 3 keys of this practice. The first key is the threshold. Friday evening is not just the end of the week. It is a doorway. In Jewish life, Shabbat is a threshold between what has been and what is being renewed. The week has its work, its pressure, its movement, its noise. Shabbat enters and says, enough for now. Stop. Come home. Breathe. But when you cross a threshold, you must notice what you are carrying. Some things should not be carried across. Old fear, old clutter, old shame, old receipts that no longer serve any purpose except to remind you of pressure. The wallet cleaned before Shabbat says, I am not dragging the whole week into the holy. It says, what is finished, I let be finished. It says, I cross into rest with my vessel cleared. The second key is release. Most people never release their financial anxiety. They just carry it from week to week. Monday's worry becomes Friday's heaviness. Friday's heaviness becomes next week's dread. Month after month, the nervous system never hears the words, you may set this down now. The Shabbat wallet practice gives the body a physical release. You remove, you sort, you wipe, you throw away, you organize. And while the hands are doing this outside, the heart begins to do it inside. A receipt may only be paper, but sometimes that paper carries a memory of worry. A cluttered wallet may only be a small mess, but sometimes that mess is connected to avoidance. So as you clean, you say, I release what I do not need to carry. Not because the problems are fake, not because everything is solved, but because you are not meant to carry every weight forever. The third key is readiness. A clean wallet is a prepared vessel. It has space. It has order. It is not crowded with the residue of the old. In Jewish wisdom, readiness matters. The table is set before the candles are lit. The bread is ready before the blessing. The home is prepared before Shabbat enters. Readiness says, I have made space for what is coming. When your wallet is cleaned before Shabbat, it speaks this same message. My Parnassa is honored. My vessel is ready. I am not entering the new week in neglect. I have made room. And sometimes making room is the first sign that you believe more can come. Now let me give you the practice. This Friday, before Shabbat begins, or before the week ends if you are not keeping Shabbat in the traditional way, set aside 5 quiet minutes. Not rushed, not while scrolling, not while distracted. 5 minutes. Bring your wallet. Bring a clean cloth or tissue. Sit at a clean surface, a table, a desk, a dresser, somewhere calm. Take everything out of the wallet. Everything. Lay it in front of you. Look gently. Do not judge yourself. Just look. What accumulated this week? Receipts, cards, notes, cash, coins, old reminders, things that belong, things that do not belong. Sort them. Keep what is needed. Remove what is expired. Throw away what is only clutter. If there are receipts you need, place them somewhere proper. Do not let the wallet carry what another place should carry. Then wipe the wallet, inside and outside, slowly. As you clean it, say, what this week placed in my wallet that does not serve me, I release. I do not carry unnecessary weight into the holy. This week is ending, and I let it end with gratitude and peace. When the wallet is clean, place back what belongs. Essential cards, money, a guardian coin or bill if you keep one, a blessing note if you carry one, whatever supports your Parnassa with order and dignity. Then hold the wallet in both hands. Speak your preparation. Say, I prepare this vessel for the new week. I prepare it for provision, for wise decisions, for giving, for receiving, for peace. My Parnassa is not buried under old fear. My wallet is clean. My heart is open. My home is ready. Before you close the practice, set aside Tzedakah, a coin, a small amount, whatever is responsible for your situation. Do not give recklessly. Do not harm your obligations, but give something if you can, because the wallet is not only prepared by cleaning, it is prepared by opening the hand. Place that tzedakah in a small box, envelope, or jar. Let it be the seal of the practice, a sign that you are not only a container, you are a channel. Then place your wallet somewhere elevated, not on the floor, not under clutter. Let it rest in dignity through Shabbat or through the quiet time you have chosen. Do this every week, not because one Friday changes everything, but because weekly return changes the person who returns. Week by week, the wallet becomes cleaner, the mind becomes clearer, the fear becomes a little less tangled. The heart begins to understand. There is a time to carry, and there is a time to release. Now, wherever you are, say these words with me. This week is finished, and I release it. I clear my vessel. I prepare my home. I stand at the threshold of the new week with open hands and a cleared heart. My Parnassa is not burdened by what the last week cost me. My wallet is clean. My provision is honored. I give with gratitude. I receive with trust. I enter the new week prepared. Say it again this Friday. Say it while your hands are actually doing the clearing. Say it slowly, because the clearing matters. Before I close, I want to speak with honesty. A clean wallet does not guarantee a full bank account. Removing old receipts will not erase every bill. Wiping your wallet will not magically remove debt, pressure, or responsibility. No true teacher should promise that. That is not wisdom. That is fantasy. This practice is not here to replace work, planning, budgeting, discipline, asking for help, or making hard financial decisions. It is here to support them. It is here to give your financial life a weekly moment of order, a weekly breath, a weekly release, a weekly preparation. Because many people live in money fear, without rhythm. They never stop. They never clear. They never close the week. They only carry and carry and carry. But Shabbat teaches that even creation has a rhythm. Work, then rest. Build, then bless. Carry, then release. And your wallet, the small house of your Parnassa, can participate in that rhythm too. The object is not the power. The cloth is not the power. The cleaning itself is not the power. The weekly return is the power. The decision to look instead of avoid, to clear instead of accumulate, to prepare instead of panic, to give instead of close completely, to enter the new week not as someone dragged by fear, but as someone standing at a threshold with dignity. That is the power. 5 minutes, once a week, a wallet in your hands, a clean cloth, a quiet sentence, a small act of tzedakah, and a heart that says, I am ready to begin again. If this teaching touched something in you tonight, write these words in the comments. My vessel is prepared. Write it as a declaration for this Friday. Write it as a seed of order. Write it as a promise that you will not carry unnecessary weight into the new week without first looking, clearing, and blessing what remains. And if you want to keep walking this quiet path with us, stay close to this channel. Subscribe as a way of continuing these ancient Jewish teachings about Parnassa, Tzedakah, blessing, Shabbat, and the sacred wisdom hidden inside ordinary objects. A wallet, a coin, salt, paper, a psalm, a candle, a table, a box for giving. Simple things, but when simple things are touched with intention, they can become teachers. And in the next teaching, I want to speak with you about the envelope. Plain, simple, ordinary. But in the old practice of separating money into portions, the envelope becomes something powerful, a boundary, a vessel, a declaration of purpose. Because when money is given a name, a place, and a purpose, it stops floating through the hands without direction. It begins to serve, and the person holding it begins to see clearly. That teaching is coming, and it is more practical than you may expect. Until then, shalom. May this Friday be different from the Fridays before it. May your wallet rest clean and prepared at the threshold of peace. May what the week cost you be released with grace. May your hands remain open. May your home be ready. And may the Parnassa that enters the new week find in you a vessel cleared, honored, and prepared to receive with wisdom, dignity, and blessing.